Hey, what's up, gang? I am going to show you how I assembled and materials that I bought to build my own tripod. Um, First of all, number one, I need to thank Nick Cheney, his advice, and his knowledge of doing this is why I even attempted it. Super helpful guy. If you get a chance to pick his brain or have a question, he's more than helpful. He helped me out a lot. So props to him first off. Second off, I'm just going to kind of walk through the products that I used. They're not real high priced or top of the line, but in all I spent about $176. Here is the Per-Gear heavy duty photography camera tripod, ball head with the 360 swivel. As you can see, it's a nice little thing. It's got three little knobs. One is for the rotation at the bottom. This one, I don't know what it does, and this one kind of tightens your ball head. But the only part you're really going to use is this piece right here. Okay, so the next step is once you have your threaded collar, this little doohickey, this little guy right here. Again, it's threaded on the inside. You can see the threads there. Threaded on the outside to 3/8/16. You're going to basically assemble your head. So I threaded it into the bottom of this because I needed a little spacer. I was originally going to do it this direction so it sucked it down, but by doing this it sat so close that it actually was rubbing the side of the level head base. You can see there it's completely closed, and I've got like a 1/16 or less, maybe a 32nd of an inch between the head and the handle. I did go ahead, and you can kind of see it there, I did go ahead and take a Dremel with a sander, sanded that edge down just a little bit. Originally on this self-leveling head right here, there was a bubble level similar to this, but it came out to the side a lot more. It came way out here, and it actually stuck out further than these do. And for it to basically, for you to be able to turn this on here, you have to loosen this all the way up, and then it'll turn on, but it still wouldn't clear that level. So as you can see, I basically just took the Dremel, there's maybe a better angle of it, I cut the level off and just kind of sanded it smooth, and then I just gave myself just a little indentation so it wouldn't hit the handle. And I was worried that it would actually cause the handle to bend the screw or something. Now as you can see, I do have just a very, very small gap between the head and the female plate, but because of that thread having that little base on it, it kind of acts like a washer would. But I mean, I'm squeezing and it does not move. It is so solid. It's not going to affect the rifle movement at all. The other thing that you need to do before you put these two together, and you might be able to flip that collar brass, you might be able to assemble it this way into that hole. I did mine the opposite way. But when you're ready to tighten all this down, get some blue Loctite, put a couple drops on the threads, thread it onto your leveling base head, and then it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be solid. Just make sure you get it in the position where everything's clear before it has a chance to set up. Like this right now is exactly where it's going to be. It's not going to move anymore. My as you can see right where I sanded it down, I mean, I might be able to turn it a little bit more if I really wrench on it, but this is pretty much where it's going to be. In fact, I know I can turn it just a little bit more, and I probably will, but I'm gonna put the Loctite on it, and then I'm gonna tighten it all down, and then this part is now ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to how to attach this to your rifle. So again, here's your plate that goes on into here, and what would be your camera base, but it's your dovetail or ducktail, whatever. So this piece, you're going to get two of these with the numbers and the paper that I'm going to attach to the end of this video. You're going to get the ball head, and you're going to get two of these plates with it. Now, to attach this to the rifle, what you need to do is, again, there's two silver screws that come into these holes that come with it. These little guys right here. Those originally come in those two heads, but you don't need them. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your drill, and you're going to get your 5/32 drill bit, and you're going to drill out these holes, and then you're going to get your tap, and you're going to tap them, but you're going to tap it all the way through. As you can see, mine go all the way through, and I tap mine to 1024 because it's easier finding American or standard threads than it is the metric width locking nuts, especially the nylon locking nuts, because that's what you're going to need to mount this plate to your rifle. So again, drill those holes through with a 5/32 drill bit, tap it with a 1024, and then you're going to attach it to your rifle. I just took my Ruger and I took it apart. I have a Ruger American. I took it apart. I lined up these holes on the center of my stock. Made sure I actually took the gun apart. It's just two screws on the bottom. And then I looked on the inside of the stock and found where I could mount it as far back to the mag well as possible without affecting like the loading chamber or any of that. So you can see there's my magazine lock. There's it mounted to my gun. You can kind of see about an inch and a half, maybe a solid inch in front of where the magazine well is. That's where you're going to drill your holes. Again, I suggest you take these. There's a screw right there. Screw right there. Just take those two out so you can see the inside of your gun. Help line up the holes. Go slow. Don't rush it. This is very thin plastic. I also probably would suggest getting a along with those nuts, I would suggest getting a washer to make sure that all this stuff is secure, because just the weight of this gun, you know, this gun probably weighs 7 pounds, I'm guessing, maybe 6 pounds or something like that. That's a lot of weight for just two little screws and for that plastic stock. So when this thing's on there, it's nice and solid. It's not moving, doesn't wiggle. On the tripod, it holds it really well. And like I said, I haven't even Loctited anything down yet. It was just kind of a trial to make sure that it all assembled on there nice and well. So that's that. Next, after you get all that stuff Loctited together, and you get this other piece attached to your rifle. The next one I'm going to attach this to is my my 223, my AR, and I've got to still drill out my AR rail and tap it for the screws, and I can actually tap that and it should screw right into it. I'm not going to have to put locking washers on it, especially as far back, because if you do that you're going to have to take your rail probably off of your gun. So I'm tapping mine so it'll thread right into my rail. Luckily I have a rail that is, I'll show you, it has multiple sides, and I can basically add Picatinny's all the way around. But you can see I've already drilled the hole here, and then here's my second hole. So this plate will basically okay. So we got everything all glued together, and so at this point, there's your screw, there's your head, blah blah blah, piece of cake. Just gonna spin that on. You can lock this, and then you basically are just gonna snug it all down. I don't think it needs to be crazy tight, just so you can again take it apart later, but making sure it's all tight, good to go. So that's loose. So at this point I can spin this around. Completed project. Your adjustment knobs, and I will the rifle on it.